Political reflections: this was the cue to get to the stadium for Liberia's inauguration of George Weah yesterday. It's an interesting development, isn't it? Erdogan says we will stay as long as we need. We have no interest in staying there. We know when we will leave. We as Turkey have no intention to occupy anywhere. We have a single goal: to win hearts. The thought of Erdogan winning hearts is a thought all of its own. Summary of the 2018 National Defense Strategy of the United States of America. Interesting document. Take a look if you get a chance. I'll just give you some bite-sized quotes. Today we're emerging from a period of strategic atrophy, aware that our competitive military advantage has been eroding. We are facing increased global disorder, characterized by decline in the long-standing rules-based international order, creating a security environment more complex and volatile than any we have experienced in recent memory. Interstate strategic competition, not terrorism, is now the primary concern in US national security. Hard-hitting where it comes to China and Russia. China is a strategic competitor, using predatory economics to intimidate its neighbors while militarizing features in the South China Sea. Russia has violated the borders of nearby nations and pursues veto power over the economic, diplomatic, and security decisions of its neighbors. Talking about North Korea as well. China is leveraging military modernization, influence operations, and predatory economics to coerce its neighboring countries to reorder the Indo-Pacific region to their advantage. We face an ever more lethal and disruptive battlefield, combined across domains, and conducted at increasing speed and reach, from close combat throughout overseas theaters and reaching to our homeland. Some competitors and adversaries seek to optimize their targeting of our battle networks and operational concepts, while also using other areas of competition short of open warfare to achieve their ends, e.g. information warfare, ambiguous or denied proxy operations, and subversion. These trends, if unaddressed, will challenge our ability to deter aggression. The security environment is also affected by rapid technological advancements and the changing character of war. Long-term strategic competitions with China and Russia are the principal priorities for the department and require both increased and sustained investment. They conclude: be strategically predictable but operationally unpredictable. I wrote a piece in August last year when I called it China Rising, and I said, apart from a few half-hearted and timid FONOPs, freedom of navigation operations, China, I said, has established control over the South China Sea. It has created artificial islands, militarized those artificial islands across the South China Sea. It is a mind-boggling geopolitical advance, any which way you care to cut it. I said Washington has metasized into an epicenter of risk. Donald Trump refers, and talks of a unipolar US-dominated world have largely evaporated. President Putin refused to be rolled over by a Victoria Nuland-inspired color revolution in the Ukraine and drew a line in the sand. And one of the collateral consequences of that was to send Putin into the ready embrace of Xi Jinping. In fact, far from being a unipolar world, we have entered a bipolar or even tripolar world. Then I was talking about Pakistan, where China has leased the Gwadar port, giving China and Central Asia access to the Gulf region and the Middle East for 43 years. Sri Lanka, which gorged on Chinese debt, has had to disgorge the Hambantota port to its creditor. And recently we saw China formally open a military facility in Djibouti. These moves taken together speak to a material Chinese advance. The pivot to Asia, which was supposed to contain China, is dead in the water, and China has sprung that trap. I was also saying China is also Narendra Modi's face in the Doklam Plateau. And I said Xi Jinping is goading Narendra Modi, who's got him entirely surrounded. So I think, that was the document is in response to these facts. It's not clear to me that the US has that military lead, which its hegemony rested upon. Ivanka Trump is leading the search to replace John Kelly, reports Vanity Fair. Trump's relationship with John Kelly as chief of staff, thought from the beginning, may finally have gone past the point of no return. Ivanka is the most worried about it. She's trying to figure out who replaces Kelly. Departure isn't imminent. He wants to stay longer than Reince Priebus. Trump cannot afford another high-level staff departure. Indeed, he can't. He said, apparently, I've got another nut job here who thinks he's running things. And then the Daily Show tweeted, shutdown's over, back to work, Mr. President. And look at the photograph that they posted. And then they said, whoops, wrong pic, and posted this photograph. Women, according to Trump, were simply more loyal and trustworthy than men, Mr. Wolf wrote in his book, which I've got but haven't read. My piece over the weekend was about my visit to the United Kingdom, where I met with Mr. Collymore. I was talking about Theresa May's longevity, about Macron, about the European project, about the demise of the high street, about millennials with their avocado eating and cryptocurrency ways. And then I was talking about the likelihood of a $2 billion Eurobond here in Kenya. On that note, let me post a photograph of Putney High Street, which I knew extremely well because I lived in Putney for many, many years.